What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well today. In this video, I'm going to talk about two tools that I think everybody needs to have, whether you're a male, female, renter, homeowner. These two tools will help you do so many jobs that we oftentimes daily come across things breaking, things going on, or you have a special project you want to get done. These two tools I think you need to have in your arsenal at home all the time. And now what I'm talking about are the 1/4 inch impact driver and a drill. All right, now we're going to go over the similarities and the differences. All right, now what you might need first, I recommend you have both. Obviously I have a tool addiction, but what you might need for your specific needs may vary from person to person. So let's go over the differences here. All right, now I use these tools daily, whether I'm at work or I'm just at home doing projects, assembling things. These are going to make your life so much faster and easier to get jobs done, projects done faster and easier. First, let's start with an impact driver. All right, so you got a 1/4 inch impact driver. Here I have my DeWalt 12 volt DCF 801. I love this. All right, it's got a couple different settings as far as like the amount of torque. Digital button here, low, medium, and high. And here I have a 20 volt, which is a lot more powerful than this one. But this one's very compact, and in many cases it does exactly what I need. I use this one actually more than I need this one. But let's talk about what all you can do with the impact driver versus like a drill. All right, so the advantages of an impact driver is it will run down like long wood screws such as this much faster than a drill. A drill will do the same job, but when you're using an impact driver versus a drill, and you're running down a long screw, this will not only applies more torque, because what it's doing, instead of a drill applies constant steady rotation, where this one is kind of like a hammering type force. Hence that's why it's called an impact driver. So it's almost like hammering. So instead of like trying to push a nail in just with like a hammer, like steadily pushing it in, it's like hammering it in. Now it applies more torque, and it will drive like a long screw in very effortlessly compared to like a drill. And a couple of advantages, like if you're running like a Phillips bit, let's say you're running like a Phillips bit into this right here and you're driving into this screw, you'll notice that it's less likely to strip or spin. And a lot of times I can hear them over there drilling or whatever, and that Phillips bit is spinning, and it makes this annoying sound. You need to apply gradual force straight into the bit, and this is less likely to strip and less likely to break the bit versus like a drill, because it's sitting there just impacting like this. And so instead of it just applying steady torque, it does it in very small little impacts, about up to like 50 impacts per second actually. All right, now cool thing about the impact driver is you have like this collar here where you see this indentation here, you can exchange out pieces or attachments very quickly and easily versus having to spin the drill and tighten everything down with the drill. Now you can still run these same bits with the drill. Now there's certain things you can do with the drill that you can't do with the impact driver, but this has a lot of versatility. Okay, one thing is you can substitute with your impact driver, you can substitute like an impact wrench with this. You can put in these attachments here Like right here, I have like a 1/4 inch for running 1/4 inch sockets. You can also go up to 3/8 or 1/2 inch. So that's going to take your place of your ratchet, your impact wrenches. You can do a lot of that with your impact, your 1/4 inch impact driver. A lot of versatility, running down a lot of screws. So if you're doing a lot of like deck work or woodwork and you're needing to run a lot of screws, or you're wanting to have like a substitute for like an impact wrench or a ratchet, I would go with this first. Okay. Now, a lot of times you can kind of get away, like I have to assemble some bikes for Christmas for my kids. And I guarantee you, I'm probably going to use this, if not my impact wrench. But if I didn't have any of this stuff, these two, the 1/4 inch impact driver, I could get it done with some of these bits here and running some sockets. Okay. And another cool thing is you can run like a right angle attachment right here. I don't know if there's a part number on this. These are pretty common. I think they're about 20 bucks. You can run it with a drill as well, but they're designed to be run with a 1/4 inch impact driver. So I could reach into some really tight spots. I could, like, say, put this 3/8 bit and run a 3/8 socket. Let's say I'm running a 10 millimeter socket and I need to get into a tight spot. I can fit this into here and then have a right angle attachment. Now I got a long way with a lot of times doing that, taking the place of like my my power ratchet here, or my hand ratchets. This will get into some tight spots. Now, what another cool thing is, you can run all these other different little bits, Phillips, flathead, square, Torx. You can just pop them in here. You can do different types of extensions like this. There's all kinds of kits that have different lengths that you can do to get into just some very awkward spots. You can do it, just run those straight with here, or you can put it into this little right angle attachment there. Now, in between the two, I have in between the impact driver and the drill, I have these brushes. Now, you can run either way. Like, these are made where, it'll slip into that impact driver. But I actually prefer to run brushes. If I'm cleaning gaskets, these are brushes, or, if you're just cleaning, prepping surfaces, cleaning off material, I actually prefer to run a drill. I just like that smooth, steady power versus like the impact power. But it does fairly similar in those cases. What I do like, about the drill is you got, a different set of things you can do. Like if you're wanting to run, if you need to drill more holes, you need to get a drill first versus the impact. Okay, because you can kind of do pretty much all of these things with the impact driver. You can do with the drill, but you got to use a little more caution. Okay, so if you have, you'll notice a lot of drills have these different settings, which this is kind of like a limiter on how much a torque is applied. So it'll stop at a certain torque level. It's very simulating kind of like impacts, but a lot weaker. And then you can run over here to where it says, like, it has the label of a drill. This one also has a label of a drill, and you got these different torque settings there. It'll kind of, on those different torque settings, it'll kind of limit. It's just not going to just apply the maximum torque. It'll stop. It's almost like a governor. All right. But when you're on drill, it's going to apply the maximum torque of the tool to the bit. Okay. Sometimes you want that. If you're drilling, if you're needing to drill holes in metal or wood, you need to get a drill. You can also run, burr bits, step-up bits, hole saw bits, big drills. You need to have a drill to do that. That's not meant for an impact driver. Also, one other thing I'll add in, this is my DCD 996. This thing has 1,000,000 miles on it. I have drilled thousands upon thousands of holes. I think I've got this, God, when did I get this? In the year probably, I would guess 2018, 17. Still works great, still does great. Got 3 different settings, very low speed, high torque, kind of just like gears on a transmission. It'll go faster but apply less torque and the higher speed, and sometimes you need that. This particular model I like because you have different light settings, and in that third setting it'll stay on for about 10 minutes, I believe. It's very bright. Sometimes I just use this as a work light in certain situations. Where my little 20 volt, notice this, the DC 701, very handy, very compact. It gets into a lot of tight spots, lightweight, but it's only got only 2 speeds, no light, but it's very handy. But I've used this. I used this for years daily, augering holes. I would use like an auger bit and auger very deep holes, almost like post holes with this thing. And you can take this handle off, but you will be shocked at how much torque this thing has. These batteries have come a long way over the past 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, it's a night and day difference. In this particular model, you can also switch over to a hammer drill, which will allow you to drill through concrete. A hammer bit, and you can use some hammer set anchors. That's how I actually have my hose reel attached. I'll just use that hammer set and put some that hammer option and drill into concrete center block. I actually have my bender anchored down into the concrete. This thing it just keeps on going, and that's one reason I choose DeWalt. I've had all the other brands back when I was doing a lot of metal fabrication back in Memphis. I had used Milwaukee, Hitachi, Makita. For a while I was a Makita guy, and then I just kept having to replace everything every year. And then finally one day, what was keeping me away from DeWalt was the price. And finally I got a chop saw, a DeWalt chop saw, which I predicted I was going to burn up in about a year, and it didn't happen. And then I ended up getting some grinders. Didn't burn those up. And it was the only tool that I wasn't having to replace every 6 months to a year. Actually, I have never had to replace a DeWalt tool from it failing or burning up. So that's why I choose DeWalt. And I got nothing against other brands, but I think DeWalt is as far as power tools, I think they're the best. Hand tools like DeWalt screwdrivers that they get probably some other company to make. Even like these bits, I'm sure there's a lot of better bits. But as far as the power tools, I think DeWalt's the best. I love them. This thing has 1,000,000 miles on it. I have no doubt in my mind I've probably used this bandsaw more than any other DCS 371. I would bet my life I have put more time on that freaking bandsaw than any other bandsaw, that particular model. It still works great. It does great. My DCF 899 still works great. Misused and abused, still works great. I bought the 900 because it's a little more powerful, updated, and actually I just retired this to my wife's vehicle just in case she has a flat or something. I got that in there. But as far as like when you're getting started, I'm assuming you got your screwdrivers, your hammers, and your pliers. Your next step up, you need to get you an impact driver or a drill or both. Now, which one you get first kind of depends on your situation. But like when I was currently just got through working on taking apart my dryer and having my little impact driver with this, I was able to just zip off all those screws really fast and get in there and figure out the issue. You can run sockets. I use this thing daily. I use this a lot more than drill, but if I were in metal fabrication and doing certain things, I would probably need I would need a drill and hardly ever need this. So it just kind of depends on your your particular situation. Now, in my next video, I'm going to go over and we're going to go to Lowe's and we're going to see what kind of deals you guys can get. Maybe give you guys some gift Christmas present options for that mechanical mind in your life, or somebody you know. But anyway, I want you to subscribe. Tell them to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out when you guys subscribe. Stay tuned. I'll have more videos like this coming soon and more tool reviews coming soon, guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks.